everyone, welcome back. Today we're drawing this super cute reindeer all tangled up in some Christmas lights. So fun. I'm getting in the holiday spirit. We want to have our paper turn landscape for this one. We're going to start in pencil and we're going to start with the face, which is pretty large and centered on our paper. So we're going to leave a little opening across the top to keep it for where the antlers are going to go. But start with a curved line on this side, almost like a parenthesis shape. And then on the other side, and then I did more of a straight line across the bottom. You can do it super straight or just curved straight, whichever way you like it. Yeah, you can see it a little better. Next, we're going to add those antlers. So from that open area, we're going to do a curve that goes outward and then up, almost like a sideways candy cane, except there's not a curl. It's just going up and stopping. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. That one doesn't look the same angle because I went from the top instead of from the bottom. And it's not imperative that they look the same necessarily, but I just want them closer than what they were. There we go. So we've got our little curve. Then we're going to add the different horns on those antlers. All right, just do a curve around and come down a little bit. Follow your line along. And once you get a little ways, go ahead and do another bump up to create the first little horn. And then just keep following your line down, adding those little bumps as you go. I added 3 to mine. You could add more if you have a longer one. And it should come down and just land kind of right on top of the head there and about 1 pencil width away from the starting line. And we'll do the same thing on this side. We've got our 2 antlers. Next, we're going to get those lights all tangled in there. The lights are 2 different steps, and then we'll add the string. So start by just adding those lights around. We don't have to put them in a specific place. They can be on the antlers, they can be on under them, around them. Wherever they are is okay because they're all tangled. Now to draw the little lights, I'm going to zoom in real quick so you guys can see it really good. We're going to add a tiny little like hot dog shape for the top of the light, or like a little bit of a rectangle, I guess more. Let's see. We're going to add that rectangle shape for the top of the light. And then we're going to do 2 curved lines that come together to make a point. Now, you can do these pointy like that, or if you want them more rounded, then you'll just do a rounded edge and do a little round at the top, which is how I do them, but you can also do them pointy. There's 2 different kinds of lights out there. Again, so we're going to do a little box for the top, curve and curve, and then kind of close it up with a smaller, slightly pointy curve along the top. And I just kind of went along, adding my lights throughout these horns in a haphazard way. We want them to all be going in different directions. We don't want them to all be the same. If you do one on top of your horn, like I just did, or your antler, we're going to erase the line of the antler that goes through that because the light's going to be in front of the horn or the antler. Be sure to keep twisting your lights in different directions. These are not going to end up perfectly straight or organized. I mean, it's a reindeer and Christmas lights, which we all know if you've ever tried to help with Christmas, those lights can be a tangled mess very easily. And nobody even touches them and they're a mess. It's like yarn. I don't know how it happens. Once we get across one antler, I did a couple here in the middle of my reindeer's forehead. Again, keep switching up the angles. We want them to be wonky in all different directions to show that this little dude has been hanging out and getting himself in some trouble. I do alternate between top and bottom, just trying to keep the lights so that they're wrapping around these horns. But you could do two on one side here and there. It's not going to hurt anything. Even have one kind of going right down the middle of the antler, not above and not below. Erase any lines that are where the light's coming from behind, but you could also have a little light kind of peeking out from underneath and behind. So if it's on top, we're going to erase part of the antler. If it's underneath in the background, then that antler is going to be in front and we're only going to see whatever part shows. Once you get all of your lights on there, we want to add our string connecting them all. And that's as simple as just drawing a line from one light to the next. Though remembering that if it's wrapped around, this string is going to go downward, come up around the back of our little guy here. And that one's going to go over there. So then this one's going to come up and from the back and be here. We'll go down and it's just going to kind of keep wrapping around, creating this knotted, tangled mess. As it just keeps going around and around and around. And there you've got all of your Christmas lights. Next, we're going to close up that head area. So we're just going to go across, but if we hit a Christmas light, we're going to pick up our pencil and continue afterwards. The strings don't matter because we'll see that through. We just want to complete the head shape now, putting all of that in there. So your antlers should be touching the top of the head and your lights should be kind of going around there like that. Then we're going to add those cute little floppy ears. So these are starting just next to the antler on each side, coming downward, out, and kind of coming back up. This one's going to be going kind of behind that ear there, or the light. And then we're going to add an inner part of the ear too. That one didn't come quite low enough. We want them to be similar size and shape. There we go. Next, we're going to add that adorable face and eye area. Start with the nose in the middle because that will give us the centering for our eyes. And the nose is pretty big. I added a little oval shaped highlight there. Next to that on either side, I did a big circle eyeball. Inside of the circles, I did two smaller circles for the pupil and the highlight. And then I added a tiny little letter V on the side to create that white part of the eye and make it more realistic, humanish eye looking. I also added some eyelashes on mine. You don't have to do that, but if you want to, they would go along the outer edge here on that white part of the triangle V eye, or up on a tiny bit of the circle of the eyeball. Then we're going to add some eyebrows above there. Two little cheeks underneath the eyes. And a cute little mouth with a curve to the right and the left. And I have my reindeer with a little tongue sticking out just because I think it looks cute. Now, before we add the body, we want to add those hooves there. He's kind of sitting at a fence, leaned over, propped up with the paws or hooves on top of that fence area. So we're going to do that first by adding a bigger letter W across the bottom, on like underneath each ear, to create the base of our hoof. We'll do a curved line at the top to close it up, and then a rainbow on top to finish the leg where it connects to the hoof. Then we'll add that body in there after we add the fence in. We want the fence line to be going right under their hooves. So we're just going to do a straight line across somewhere in the middle of the hoof area. And then we're going to add a curved line connecting the hoof to the body on each side. And then one more, creating a spot on the reindeer's belly that is a different color. And you've drawn an adorable tangled up reindeer. You could add details into the background, or maybe you want to add some Christmas lights along the fence. Whatever you want to do with it. I can't wait to see how yours turned out.
Don't forget to post your finished project either in our student forum on Facebook, Studio CIA Student Projects, or on our website in our community forum, linked below. Be sure to come back for another drawing soon. Bye, everyone.